Guys, what's going on? I'm Combat Craig, and today's question is my VA claim is ready for decision. Now, what do I do? In the VA claims process, it goes through multiple VSRs and it eventually ends up on a rating VSR's desk. And I have a Rater X, here to help explain this process a little bit. So I guess my claim is ready for decision. What do I need to know? Over to you, big guy.
That's a loaded question if I ever heard one, because there's a lot of things that are involved. Once a claim is marked RFD, the VSR will mark the claim RFD because they've reviewed the examinations or whatever evidence is needed to make the claim RFD. Then it gets sent up into the cloud.
Wait. The cloud? Like
Yes.
an Amazon cloud?
Something similar.
You want to learn more about the VA claims process? Check out my bootcamp at combatcraig.com. All VA claims come down to medical evidence. If you need medical evidence because you can't get it, can't get a current diagnosis, symptoms, or a nexus, go to my website at combatcraig.com, click on the Med Team Nexus Letters link, and my Med Team will take a look at it and see if they can help you out.
The claim is basically put up into the cloud, and then it's assigned by the national work queue.
Oh, wait. Let me hop in here again. A national work queue.
Let me explain the national work queue for you.
Okay.
The national work queue is what assigns VSRs, RVSRs, DROs, whoever touches the case, the national work queue assigns it to that individual. When you touch a case, it's because it's been assigned to you by the national work queue.
Once it gets to so it's going to get to your desk ultimately, right? So once a claim is at a VA rater's desk, is there a time frame that's put on VA raters to make a decision on that claim?
There is, but let's back up a little bit, because once a claim is marked RFD, it can be marked RFD and be sitting up in the cloud for a day, a week, a month, even a year before it even gets to an RVSR's desk. So that's something else. That's where there's a disconnect, because if you as a veteran, you're looking at your claim in va.gov and it shows ready for decision. Just because it says it's ready for decision doesn't mean it's at a RVSR's desk to rate. Sometimes shit gets stuck up there.
Let me hop in here. This is exactly why logging into va.gov, it's not accurate. It's not real time, and it's not the exact thing that's actually going on, right?
Correct. And that can be simply as the VA in general changing the status as far as how they want to identify a claim. They can add additional statuses if they wanted to actually let them know that a decision is being made. You can have a status ready for decision, and then you can have decision in process.
So basically, there's a lot of different scenarios that are going on here.
Correct.
The main ones that we preach together, get medical evidence for your claim, file as few claims as possible. Once you hit that submit button, it's literally out of your hands. So checking va.gov 15 times a day, you're going to do it anyway. I did. That doesn't speed it up. Trying to figure out what's going on. It's RFD. Why is it sitting there? None of that is going to speed up your claim. You submit your claim and you'll get a decision letter at some point in a later date. That's all you need to really be worried about. The details of what's going on behind the scenes is just not a transparent process. And it seems like the VA is actually kind of trying to make it transparent by showing what raters are doing. But that's not even, it's all bullshit information. It's not bullshit, but it's not real time, right?
You have to remember the VA is all about being reactive and not proactive. They try to put off the fact that they're proactive. Realistically, they're not. They're just there to put out fires once somebody bitches about it. They are more reactive than proactive. That's what you have to realize first, which is why they're under attack by Congress constantly. And now they're having to react to what Congress is asking them to do. But I don't want to drift off topic too much. But yeah, that's the long and the short of it.
So another thing about that we've touched on in the past is you work kind of under the gun. You're measured by your productivity and stuff like that.
Yes,
Is that correct?
there are performance standards that an RVSR has to do. There's a points threshold that they have to meet. So they have to get a certain amount of claims out the door, or really a certain amount of issues. But there's a balance between claims and issues, because you can work, 3, 5 issue claims and make more points off of those than you can on a single 20 issue claim.
It's a game. It's still a game on your end.
Yeah. But then when you say, how's that? Because you worked 15 total issues, but you got more points working those 13 issues than you did a single 20 issue claim. Isn't, a claim, a claim, a claim? But all claims are different.
Yeah.
A claim for increase is going to be a straight claim for increase is going to be worth a certain amount of points per issue. Whereas if you have new conditions with increased conditions, that's a different point criteria. So there's 4 or 5 different tiers is the best way to describe it. You have a tier 1 claim, a tier 2 claim, a tier 3 claim, tier 4 claim. Like the biggest tier you can have is the tier 1, which were the old Niemer claims. Those were the biggest producing claims, because those were the most difficult. So the more difficult the claim, the more points you're going to get. And then there's buffers to where you're going to get extra points if you're dealing with TBI or MST or different issues like that. You have buffer credits you can get. So all of that has to be taken into consideration. And the bottom line is the less issues you claim, more likely than not, the quicker that claim is going to get processed. Not to say that people are dodging higher issue claims, just my experience over the 13 years I was a RVSR.
And it also makes sense in general, right? Like if there's less issues to adjudicate, it should go faster. That makes common sense.
Right.
Something kind of along those lines, or kind of in here, is deferred claims. So if you get something, or the way I understand it is, you file a claim and you get a few things come back deferred. On your end, if you have an 8-issue claim and you just don't have the evidence to make a decision on 4 of them, do you get like the points if you rate the 4 things and defer the other ones?
Okay, that you're going to make a deferral is not a decision.
Right.
A deferral is, hey, we're putting this on pause. If you have an 8-issue claim, you'll get the points for those 4 issues you made a decision on. A deferral is not a decision. A deferral is saying, hey, we don't have sufficient evidence to make a decision, whether we're missing medical records, whether we sent it out for exam and now the exam needs clarification because the examiner didn't provide proper rationale for a positive or negative opinion, so we have to send it back. Or, something was missing off the exam. He didn't fill out a section, or he meant to say this, but he checked the wrong box. Like there's stuff that he'll give a positive opinion, but give a negative rationale. Well, that don't make sense. So now that has to go back and have him sort it out. Well, what exactly did you mean? Because you checked one box, but you gave the opposite rationale for what the other box supported. So it's shit like that they're dealing with, and a lot of things behind the scenes that obviously aren't being shown.
You want to learn more about the VA claims process? Check out my bootcamp at combatcraig.com. All VA claims come down to medical evidence. If you need medical evidence because you can't get it, can't get a current diagnosis, symptoms, or a nexus, go to my website at combatcraig.com, click on the Med Team Nexus Letters link, and my med team will take a look at it and see if they can help you out. Right. So like deferred, if a claim's going to be deferred, it's not by design. It's while you're in it, basically. Not you see something and you could put deferrals and get 4 points. Like that's just not the approach. You go into each claim the same way, and if things need to be deferred, they get deferred. Is that the way it works?
Here's where things get fucked up, because now we're looking at decision-ready claims. So now those decision-ready claims, Doesn't mean the whole claim is ready for decision. It just means there's at least one issue that a decision can be made. So a claim can literally come in as a decision-ready claim. So let me give you an example. So somebody's claiming something presumptive off the PACT Act. We were able to verify their service. Everything was pretty straightforward as far as that goes. They provided a DBQ with their claim that had the diagnosis, so that's an automatic grant. But they also claimed 15 other things. Well, guess what? That's a decision-ready claim. So now we're going to grant his single issue under the PACT Act. Grant that. Now we got 14 deferrals. Why? Because the VA can say, "Oh, well, we pushed out a claim, RFD." Really,
and that would be cleaned up, obviously, if you focus on that one PACT Act thing or whatever, or fewer conditions. And that's not how you get paid. More doesn't mean more money or whatever. Higher value claims, higher paying disabilities, or how you do it, TDIU. I mean, there's a lot of different ways to do it, right?
But that's how the national work queue will push stuff to you, and the national work
right. Okay.
Priorities. So you can't control what you're given by the national work queue. So the national work queue ideally is supposed to spread out claims nationally. But previously, they were spread out by the local offices. So if one station had a bunch of backloaded claims, they could say, "Hey, can we send some claims to your office for you guys to do, because you guys are light, we're heavy, can you guys help us out?" But now that it's nationalized under a national work queue, everything's supposed to be distributed equally to try to spread out the backlog equally.
I'm sure that happens constantly. I'm sure that's working like a charm. And the Washington State VARO was somehow missed, and those guys are just not getting any work or something. Who knows? I'm sure there's glitches.
Yes, there are.
To
be kind and say, yeah, there's glitches that need to be resolved.
Gotcha. Sure. All right, cool. Well, thanks for helping us understand the claims process behind the scenes a little bit. If